You gotta love St. Peter, don't you? In last Sunday's Gospel from Matthew chapter 16, we heard how he made a great act of faith, telling Jesus that he believed he was the Christ, the Son of the living God. Jesus blessed him. But in today's Gospel, which immediately follows last week's story, Jesus condemns him. Hello, I'm Father James Kubicki, and the reason Jesus goes so far as to actually call Peter Satan is because Peter had lovingly told him that he hoped he would never have to suffer and be killed in Jerusalem. It may have been a sign of Peter's love for him, but Jesus told Peter that he wasn't thinking the way God thinks, but as human beings do. God's ways are not our ways, and the way God chose to save the world was through the suffering and death and then the resurrection of his Son. Here's something Pope Benedict said about this gospel. If, to save us, the Son of God had to suffer and die on the cross, it was certainly not by a cruel design of the Heavenly Father. The reason is the gravity of the illness from which he came to heal us. It was such a serious mortal disease that it required all his blood. Indeed, it was with his death and resurrection that Jesus defeated sin and death and reestablished God's lordship. Pope Benedict then went on to say that the battle isn't over, and that each of us is called to follow Christ and make an offering of our suffering for the salvation of the world, saying, just as for Christ, carrying the cross was not an option but a mission to be embraced for love, so it is for Christians too. Christ does not cease to offer to all his clear invitation. Anyone who wants to be my disciple must renounce his own selfishness and carry the cross with me.